Hey, Ramelia. I'm back. So, the great Von Miller is going to the Bills. Um, it looked promising that we were going to get him back. And uh, it looked promising that we were going to get him back. And there was reports coming out that we were going to get him, and things looked good. And then I guess the Bills made him offer he couldn't refuse. And like I said before, I no ill feelings towards Von Miller. I appreciate what he did for our team, helping us win the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Um, you know, um, that's what happens. But I would have been, I am disappointed. Um, but I don't hold any ill will or feelings towards Von Miller. I appreciate everything he did for us. It is what it is. So on to Plan B. Um, Most likely, we're gonna look to get uh, another pass rusher, maybe Dante Fowler, um, someone like that. Maybe be able to come back on a 1 or 2 year deal, and I'd like to get Bobby Wagner now. We'll see what happens. We've already restructured um, guys like Leonard Floyd and uh, and other players to get some money for the free agent rounds these next days coming up, and re-sign our guys, and hopefully sign Von Miller, but that's gone. So now we're just going to Plan B. But our key guys are still there. That's a key piece. Um, but you can't blame the guy for getting that money. But it is what it is. The Cowboys are making a push trying to get him too. They're desperate after missing out on their own free agent. They thought they had him signed, and he went to Denver. At least the Cowboys did get Von Miller. That would have sucked, to lose to him to the Cowboys. But the Bills paid him 6 years. It's not all guaranteed, but 6 years, $120 million contract. And honestly, Von Miller probably doesn't have 6 years left in him. But so he's going to get some of that money, but there's just no way that we can give him a contract like that. And you can't blame him for leaving for that much money. It is what it is, let's see. Let me see if there's anybody else. I think everything is done for the day, unless there's something that happens that hasn't been reported. Yeah, they got the top free agents still available. Let's see. The guy that I want to make sure that we get back is Brandon Powell. I mean, most likely we will bring him back, but without him, we didn't have a good kick return game, and he was amazing going down the stretch. He was sure-handed. He had some burst. He would get us in good field position. He's a must. Most likely he's coming back unless somebody offers him a crazy deal, and the Rams don't match it. But yeah, the free agency is crazy. The Chargers, our little brothers in SoFi Stadium, are making a push. They got Sebastian Joseph Day, my boy, Sebastian Joseph Day, one of my favorites on the defensive line. He was hurt towards the end of the season, and I would have loved to have him back at least another season. But thank God that Ashawn Robinson came along and was playing great. Against the run, he was a monster. Gray Gaines made some pushes. Peo, what's up, brother? Hello, man. How you doing? Yes, we're still champions. That's what, everybody is trying to get where we're at. We can't keep everybody, I wish we could have had Von Miller one more day, one more year to run it back, but that money is just, you can't, they're throwing that money at you. You can't, say no to it. Bucks and Godwin are working on a deal prior to the franchise tag deadline. Now it's done. Um, yeah, Peo. I was on earlier, and then we were all talking about stuff, and at that time when Vaughn hadn't signed yet, and so things looked good for us, and then I had to abruptly leave with my granddaughter. We had a good little lunch and went to the mall and did stuff, and then I came back. Well, I was still out, and then I saw that Von Miller signed with the Bills, so I cut my live stream short earlier, and then I said I'd come back. So I'm just back for a little while, but yeah, I just wanted to see if anything else happened. But yeah, I would have loved to have Von Miller back, but it's crazy. Uh, yeah, Pale says, and yeah, that kind of money would hurt the Rams. Yeah, there's no way we can give Von Miller. If it was young Von Miller in his prime, that's one thing, but we just need another piece that's experienced and effective, because if you have Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd and Greg Gaines and Ashawn Robinson shoring up the run, we're good. We just need another piece. So I think Peo, I think maybe Dante Fowler. I heard that Ebucom might be available, that they were going to release him or something, or cut him. I don't know if he's signed. Because guys leave the Rams because of our defensive line and our culture and our coaching staff, sign big contracts elsewhere, and then they end up getting cut by the teams because they don't work out. Well, it's because they don't have an Aaron Donald to take the load, and then the other guys come in and do their work. But yeah, Ebucom wasn't near the player he was with us with the 49ers, and thank God. And so maybe we'll get him back. And I'd love to see Bobby Wagner now that we have the money freed up, not having to get, not being able to sign Vaughn. And hey, Tony Korn, what's up, brother? Von Miller finesse the Bills. Yeah, you got to tip your hat. Like I said before, I would have loved to have Von Miller, but I know ill will feelings to the guy. This is his first time he was available to get a big money contract, um, and he was going to see how it went. He was going to see how close the Rams can go. He was really weighing us, because he even said, he was giving some tweets out there about going back to the Broncos, and then even giving the Cowboys some hope, but he wanted to see his options, and you can't blame him. OBJ is the proof of, and Woods, that on any given play you can get hurt and be out for the season, or maybe career ending. So you gotta secure that bag, so to speak. Pale says we have other options, and we'll celebrate Vaughn's time with the Rams. Yeah, we have a lot of options. Pass rushers, there are not very many available, but I really think that now, and I wouldn't be surprised if Les Snead probably has a deal on the table, and it just needs to be signed off now for Bobby Wagner and Dante Fowler, or one or the other. One thing that's nice about being a Rams fan, not being a homer, but this is just facts, is we know that we trust our guys in the front office. We know that they'll do what they need to do, what they can do, and Les Snead is known to pull a rabbit out of his hat from time to time. So, we're Super Bowl champions. All the rest of the teams aren't. So we're in a place where other teams are trying to get to, and we have other teams copycatting us. Remember, before they were saying, "Oh, the Rams are all in," they're mortgaging their future. And we won the Super Bowl. Well, maybe that's the way to do it now. And so you see teams like the Bills spending money to get Von Miller. They think they're a guy or two away. The Chargers, our little brothers at SoFi Stadium, want to make a push, because now they're going to have our banner in that stadium from Los Angeles, and we have the other banners to go with that. and so they want to make a push now. They signed my boy Sebastian Joseph Day. I wish we could have signed him, but there's another guy that I would love to have to help with our depth. But thank God Greg Gaines is there and doing damage. There's a lot of teams that are all in now all of a sudden, and so God bless them. That's the way. If you want to win, there's a short window of time. You have key guys at key positions, especially at quarterback, and you got to make a push where you can. You got to win as many games as you can, and put your all your chips in the middle of the table, so to speak. And if you get in the playoffs, maybe you can make something happen. Tony Corn says, "Who's available in free agency? I would love Wagner in the Rams uniform." So Wagner, of course, is available. Let's see. Wagner's available. Let's see. Hold on one second. I'll tell you right now. Dante Fowler is available. Another pass rush guy that we used to have would be nice. He fit in nice with our guys. Aaron Donald, as long as Aaron Donald's there, and we have the other side covered with Leonard Floyd. We just need another guy for the other side. But let's see here. Let's see. This is not for us, but Jadeveon Clowney. Let's see. Adamakin Sue. Would Adamakin Sue take? He's not an edge rusher, but would he take a pay cut to come back to the Rams? Probably not. Let's see. Patrick Peterson. Not very many pass rushers. I thought Ebicom was going to be cut by the Niners. I thought I saw something about that, and my eyebrow kind of raised. Juju Schuster, James Winston, Justin Houston, Kyle Fuller, receivers. Let's see. Kerrigan, Ryan Kerrigan. There's just nobody like a Von Miller though, but we couldn't pay that money. But and it's funny because I don't see Dante Fowler in here. How weird. But I saw that they were going to cut him, so maybe it's just not listed yet. But yeah, Tony Quinn says who's available for agency? I would love to have Wagner. I would love to have Wagner in a Rams uniform. He would be like a mentor. That's the thing that we're going to miss with Von Miller. That I hate. Besides the play speaks for itself. He's a character, and he's a good character. He's a mentor to guys like OBJ and Donald. He's great for the clubhouse. I really give him props to helping Aaron Donald be a better leader. He told Aaron Donald that he needs to be, and kind of taught him the way, because Aaron Donald's not a vocal leader, but he does it by example. And that one season that Von Miller's been with them, it made Donald a better player and better leader. And they were just amazing, man. I would love to have to play them again, but play them together again. Let them play one more season at least. But the clubhouse presence, we're gonna miss him with that. But that's just what happens when you have a successful team. Hey, what's up, Alfred? Alfred 25, what's up, brother? Von Miller signing with the Bills on us. Yeah, 6-year, $120 million, and he's not going to see all that money. And of course, they know that he's not going to play 6 years. It's not all guaranteed money, but it comes out to, I heard, like $17 million a year, kind of like the Chandler Jones contract to the Raiders. I wish we could have kept Von Miller, but not at that. We can't afford that. We just can't afford that. And, we want to be contenders for the next few years while Matthew Stafford's in his prime years. Cooper Kupp and guys like that are signed through 2024. Donald's reworking his deal probably for another 3 or 4 years. We have to be responsible. But dang, man, I wish we could have got one more year out of it. But yeah, so we just have to go to plan B. Maybe Wagner will be part of it. But it's a good, let's just remember this. Like I said, I don't have any ill will towards Von Miller. I don't blame him, for the, it would have been, he would have, I guarantee you that he kind of shaking his head like, you know what? I don't really want to go to Buffalo. I'm in Los Angeles, but he's a good guy. He'll go. He makes friends all over where he goes, but being in Los Angeles is different than being in Buffalo. It's a different culture, but they just gave him the money where he could not say no. And I don't blame him. I don't have any ill will towards him. You got to secure that bag, so to speak. So, but yeah, I would love to have him one more season at least to run it back. So we just have to do what we have to do. This is still a Super Bowl team, even without him. Of course, we're that much more dangerous with him. So we just have to go to plan B. Uh, uh, Raheem Morris kind of grew on me a little bit. I wasn't a big fan of him. Um, we'll see what year two has to offer, but I know that our offense will be a lot better in year two with Stafford and McVay. So the fall off with the defense a little bit. If Von Miller, because Von Miller's not there, we have to do it through other production ways, other guys. Our offense will be that much better, and hopefully we'll have better, knock on wood, um, better luck when it comes to uh, injuries. The Robert Woods will be back. OBJ will probably sign with us back, and will be more explosive. Cam Akers will have a full training camp, so it's a good time. It's disappointing, of course, but we have that Super Bowl trophy in Los Angeles, and we're the Super Bowl champions. So we got that chip already. Now we're working on number two in Los Angeles. So let's go ahead and get that rolling. But let's take our time, enjoy it. There's plenty of time to be worried about this or that. But why worry? We have 48 returning starters on our roster from the 53-man roster on the Super Bowl team. We signed most of our offensive linemen. I hated to see Big Wit retired. God bless him. Glad he got his ring. But we signed Noteboom and Brian Allen and most of our offensive line is returning. I hated to see our other offensive linemen leave, but that's just what happens when you're successful, and then guys' contracts come up. Um, but I really trust our guys in charge, the Les Needs, and so we'll see what happens in the future. But around the league, the Niners are still uh not sure on Trey Lance. How do you trade up, give away two first round picks? Don't even know who you're gonna get yet. They traded up to get to the number 3 spot. They didn't know, they everyone knew who the first round pick was probably going to be, but the Jets could have picked whoever it was, and so the Niners are willing on a couple of guys, Mac Jones or Trey Lance. I guess it was their choice, and they don't even want to play Trey Lance. They all these rumors in Ninerville about Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or this and that, or they're looking for a veteran quarterback, and um, we'll see what happens. He's a young guy with potential. He's got a lot of skill set, but he's very inexperienced. In the last 2 years, only has a handful of snaps in games. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, if they would have got Stafford, the Niners, I would have had sleepless nights and been pissed off all day, every day. But with Trey Lance, I sleep like a baby. I don't. Maybe his career would turn out great, but he he I don't think he's going to be what Matthew Stafford is at this point. He's going to be a different quarterback. Of course, he's a different type of quarterback, but that's a lot. They should have got Stafford, but I'm glad they didn't. And we have the Super Bowl trophy. And then around the league, the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is gone out of the NFC West. Amazing. I really like Russell Wilson as a person. He's a great quarterback. We just happen to have a lot of success against him. And but he's going to make the Denver Broncos the Super Bowl contender for sure. And they're going to be tough in that AFC West, man. The Chargers and Raiders are getting better, especially the Chargers. Um, the Kansas City Chiefs are always tough with Mahomes and those weapons. That's going to be crazy. So now the AFC West, I guess, is the best division, with the Seahawks falling off and the Niners going to a rookie quarterback. our a rookie-ish quarterback. The guy only played a couple of snaps, last year, um, and part of one game, I think. Did he play one game? Yeah. So, so we'll see what happens with that. And then Tom Brady comes back. Tom Brady. Tom Brady, welcome back, Tom. We're waiting for you. We're ready to retire you again. But yeah, the guy, the guy retired for 5 minutes, it seems like, and had to come back. If you're able to do it and they protect you like the refs do, might as well come back. God bless them. I don't like Tom Brady. I respect him, but he took 2 rings from us, and I don't like it. So I'm glad that whenever we've played him since the Super Bowl, even in the Super Bowl, we banged him around, and like that picture shows, we just couldn't score points. We should have won that Super Bowl. If we would have had Matthew Stafford, we would have won that Super Bowl easily. But yeah, ever since that Super Bowl, we in the Super Bowl as well, we throw them around and we have our way with them. We just we're 3-1 versus him in the last 4 times we played him. So they almost came back on us, but Matthew Stafford wasn't having it. Like he said in that game, he was taking souls. They were telling him, they were talking about him. He said he was in a dark, he was in a dark way. He was not going to be denied. And so, but yeah, so it's a great time. It's exciting. I was really looking forward to seeing Von Miller back with us, but it's fine. God bless him. We have the Super Bowl championship in Los Angeles. Next year, we're going to raise that banner. Hopefully, we'll do it against the Niners and let them watch us do that as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things. The one guy that I want to make sure that we sign, I can't say it enough, is Brandon Powell. He's not a big name, but he was our kick returning wonder, and so I want to make sure we get him. The Rams tendered Travin Howard. He'll be coming back. Matt Gay, our kicker, is going to come back. They tendered him an offer as well. So that's good too. We have most of our pieces back. Just remember that, Romelia. Most of our pieces are returning from the Super Bowl championship. That's unheard of. Of course, we're missing Big Wet. These are all key players, but Big Wit, Austin Corbett, but we have the rest of our offensive line back. No Boom is going to take over for Big Wit. Brian Allen's back, and we have good depth. I want us to get a little bigger, a little more beef on the offensive line so we can be able to run against good teams like the Titans and the Bengals with good defensive lines. We can overpower them and be able to run on anyone. I'd love for us to get a couple of those guys maybe late in the rounds in the draft and bring them along, bring a jumbo package and bring those guys in. But all that stuff is going to come. Right now, we're just seeing what guys we can retool with. We're going to see what picks we can get. Most likely because Von Miller's gone, we're going to probably maybe get a young pass rusher because it's a deep draft for all that stuff too. As far as good players. Roberto Hastings, what's up, brother? He says, "What's good, homie? How's your team doing in free agency?" We're doing pretty good. We lost Von Miller though, and a couple of other guys, like we were expecting. But Von Miller was the key guy that we wanted to get back. So it looks like we're going to turn probably to Bobby Wagner and Dante Fowler or Dante Fowler. But we'll see what happens. The main thing is we're returning 48 of our 53-man roster back, our key guys. OBJ hasn't announced officially, but he'll be back most likely. He's already kind of tweeted about it that he wants to come back, and he's not going to be available until halfway through the season anyway. So I don't see another team really trying to push to get him. And so, but Woods will be back. So our main guys are already signed. Von Miller hurts, but $120 million for 6 years. And I know that's not all guaranteed, but that's just a lot of money. $17 million a year. There's no way we could afford that or wanted to pay for that. If he was a young guy, then we'd talk about it. But that's crazy. But the Bills think the Bills are all in. the Rams have changed people's attitudes. The Rams have been all in since 2018. The Rams have been all in, all in, all in, and they make changes to their roster, and they get guys, Ramses, Matthew Stafford, getting rid of their franchise quarterback because he couldn't get us to the level we wanted to. Von Miller, OBJ, before that, Deshaun Jackson. And other teams are kind of getting the hint that that's kind of what you have to do. If you want to win, you got to get players, and draft picks are nice, and it's nice to collect draft picks and be of the old school mindset of we have 3 draft picks in the second and first round. Yeah, but they might not turn out, and it's going to take a while for them to bloom and blossom, and then by then you have to pay them. So we get proven talent, and luckily we have enough guys to do that too. You can't do that with your whole team. You have to have key guys, but we're very fortunate. I don't take anything for granted because so fast like that, things can change. Roberto says, do you think the 49ers still might make a splash in free agency? Yeah, man. I heard, besides the quarterbacks, I hate that talk. Trey Lance needs to get a chance. You guys need to see. I mean, I know you guys see him in practice, but practice is different. When the lights are on, for instance, the Super Bowl, that last drive that Stafford did, there's no way. And God bless Jared Goff. I appreciate Jared Goff for everything he done for us. He won with us. And God bless him. He got us to the Super Bowl in 2018. But that last drive that Stafford and Cooper Kupp did. You got to have a guy that can do that when the lights are on, to take you to that next level. And that's what you have to find out with Trey Lance. Not that he has to carry the team, but you need a guy that can that can make plays, and with his legs and everything. You have to see what you have, So for him, I hate that every other rumor is like the Niners going to get Brady, or the Niners going to get Aaron Rodgers. The Niners are looking at this guy. Announce that he's your quarterback and get him a backup quarterback and go from there, and to get the fan base excited about the young kid. But it's because it's going to take time, and Shanahan's offense is very complicated. But yeah, back to your question. The Niners don't really make splashes too much in free agency. They do it a little differently. But they do pick up some guys here and there. Like last year, was it last year or the year before, they got Ebicom from us. He didn't play good because he got injured. But yeah, I can see you guys because the Rams put a lot of pressure on the teams, the NFC West. So you have to kind of follow suit. It's like an arms race, and between McVay and Shanahan. So, but yeah, it's an exciting time, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, you guys will make a splash. But you guys are like us, like you don't really need a whole lot. You guys were in the NFC Championship game, and you're right there with us as far as one of the better teams in the NFC West, especially with Arizona melting down and the Seahawks. But Arizona has very talented, but they melted down this year with I don't know what Murray's doing, but and his agent, but. Yeah, so it's going to be between the Niners and Rams again this year, and the Seahawks are going to be retooling. So maybe they'll get the second wild card spot, but who knows? But yeah, I can see you guys do something in the free agency. There's not really a big names too much anymore. You guys already made some splash with getting some cornerbacks, and that's what you guys needed. The Ward guy is okay, but you don't want to spend a lot of money either, especially with Jimmy still in the books. If Jimmy wasn't on your book still, you guys can do more. But we'll see. But I have heard that you guys are still in the mix, not in the mix. It depends on who you hear for Deshaun Watson. So who knows, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's the guy that I keep forgetting. The Rams re-signed offensive lineman Coleman Shelton to a 2-year deal. So yeah, I keep forgetting his name. But yeah, so we shored up our offensive line. Noboom's gonna watch Stafford's backside, and so we should be okay on that front. I'm just excited, but I want to take our time with everything because we still have what are we are? We're in March, April, May, June, July, August. So right around July. So we got a good 4 months before we start getting ready for the season. So as Ram fans, I a lot of my Super Bowl gear's been coming in. I waited a lifetime for them to win a championship in Los Angeles, and so I'm getting everything that I can get. I've been through the 3 and 13 years and the Jeff Fisher years and 7 and 9 years, and so if I can find something that has the Los Angeles Rams Super Bowl on it that I like it, I'm buying it. So I can put all my stuff in my casket when I pass and be happy. I can die now. I saw the I would always say that, the end of times is here. We joke around. The end day days is coming. And then I say, well, wait a minute. Tell them to hold out. Let the Rams win the Super Bowl first. Los Angeles. Hey, what's up, Lone Fox? 115. What's up, brother? He says been these drafts all week. Yeah, man. We have late round picks ourselves, so we'll see what That's one thing that we pull out of our hat as our late round picks. The Cooper Cups were a second round pick, and Cam Akers was I think it was a third round pick. Johnny Johnson, who left, was I think a third round pick. Abby Com, I think, was a fourth round pick. We kind of do very well with our late picks. That's why when we get rid of the first and second rounders, it doesn't hurt us. What's up, Pac-Man? What's up, brother? Thank you for coming in. Bobby Wagner, Miles Jack. Yes, yes. Um, we that's one thing about Les Snead, and one thing about being a Rams fan with these guys in place. Les Snead. It's almost like Christmas every year, and I say that jokingly, but it is funny because we wake up and say, "We got Von Miller, we got OBJ, we got Jalen Ramsey, we got Stafford." It's like Christmas every day, man. It reminds me of my Dodgers. My Dodgers, in the baseball, it's different because there's no cap, but they spare no expense. They want to win. In Los Angeles, you have to win. You have to win. So the Rams are Super Bowl champions, and then you have people that they have kids and nephews and grandsons and guys that are on the fence about their favorite teams, and they say, "Oh, you know what? I want to get a Matthew Stafford jersey. I want to get an Aaron Donald jersey, or I really love Cooper Cup. He's my favorite player." And that's how the Los Angeles fan base comes back strong again. Even other teams that are like other fans that are, because the Rams were out of Los Angeles. There wasn't a team in Los Angeles for over 20 plus years. And so people that lived here for decades were just, they were fans of other teams. And then you had the local teams, the Niners and the Raiders and Chargers and San Diego. There are OG Ram fans and there were Ram fans, but a lot of them were a little hurt by the Rams leaving, and a lot of them didn't have a favorite team anymore. And then their kids grew up with watching other teams. Not all of them, but a lot of us were stayed loyal. It was loyalty over location. So they came back to Los Angeles. The OG guys like myself were happy, and unfortunately, a lot of us died off. 20 plus years is a long time. The guys that were following Roman Gabriel, and even before that, the Ram franchise in Los Angeles, 1951 Los Angeles Rams. A lot of people don't realize won the NFL championship before they call it the Super Bowl. And so guys that were around then, that was the Super Bowl. That was the NFL championship. And I know we don't pay homage to that, and I think that we should. I think it's wrong. All the Titletown USA, Green Bay Packers and the Bears, that was the championship that was available at that time. If you had a grandfather and he was a football fan, and he saw his team win the championship, why does that not count in people's minds? To me, it should. That was the 1927's World Series Yankees or Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers. They count those championships just like the regular ones. So it's not called Super Bowl, but people don't realize the Rams were the first team in Los Angeles to win a NFL championship, or it was the first NFL franchise to win a championship period before the Lakers and Dodgers came to Los Angeles and won one. So, a lot of people, a lot of the OG Ram fans that stayed Ram fan loyal died off, and a lot of us were still here. A lot of us got mad when the Rams left. And but it's loyalty over location. If you're from, I know of Ram fans from Guam and Vietnam and all kinds of different places all over the world, Hawaii. They've written to me, and it's amazing. The Ram fan base is getting built as we speak, and they're getting stronger. But you have to win. You have to win. And a lot of fans that were here were like, let me see if they're gonna, from the at the end of the St. Louis run with Jeff Fisher, and then when they first got here, Jeff Fisher, we couldn't get over the hump. They're like kind of like on the fence. Do I want to support this team? Do I want to put myself through aches and pains? So now that we're winning and you can see the culture, I see little kids with Ram jerseys, Cooper Cup jerseys. It's amazing the way it works, but in Los Angeles you gotta win, and that's why I'm proud of this team and this culture that McVay and Les Snead has brought to us. Let's see. Pac-Man says, I feel like we will make a signing. We have the money. I want Bobby Wagner. Plus, he's from LA. Yeah, we were getting money together for Von Miller. We already restructured some contracts, and we were ready to sign him, and he was ready to sign back with us. But most likely his agent was saying, just hold on, because Chandler Jones signed that contract with the Raiders, so that was the going rate for a guy like that, and so the Rams were like, oh man, we can't afford that, so he was waiting for us to see what we can pay him, and so we have money now. We restructured guys. We're still doing deals as we speak. Aaron Donald's going to get restructured, extended. Matthew Stafford as well. But I see us, that's one thing about Les Snead is he won't disappoint you. We're going to get either Ebukam, Dante Fowler and Wagner, or one of the two, most likely. That's my best guess, and I think Bobby Wagner would help shore up our linebacking core with Ernest Jones in there, and we lost Troy Reeder, who's he's a serviceable guy and he makes plays here and there. He's not the greatest tackler of all time, but he's always around the ball and very physical. And so Bobby Wagner would be a huge upgrade. And, but I look for our offense to take off a lot more than it did this year because of the injury with Woods. And then it took a while for OBJ to get acclimated to our offense. So, and then you have Cam Akers healthy from day one in camp. I picture our offense taking off. Year 2 with Matthew Stafford. Are you kidding me? They're going to go to the next chapter in McVay's playbook. And so it's going to be amazing. It's a great time to be a Rams fan. Great time to be a football fan. Period. It's just exciting. All the different players. Russell Wilson's in Denver now. Amazing. Pac-Man says, what about Tyrann Mathieu? I like Tyrann Mathieu too. I've always liked him, the Honey Badger. I always liked him, but I just don't think we have the money for him. If he's willing to give us a deal, that would help shore up our that would help shore us up in the secondary. We have some young guys, Robert Rochelle's and guys like that. We're going to lose Darius Williams because Darius Williams took a step back, unfortunately, from the where he was at a couple of years ago. With when we played the Seahawks when he made that interception on a screenplay against the Seahawks, and he looked like he was on his way to being one of the better secondaries, along with to go with Jalen Ramsey, and he just didn't step up, so we can't afford to even franchise tag him. But we're looking for the Robert Rochelle's, guys like that. Tyrann Mathieu be a nice addition too. Maybe he wants to win and give us I don't want to say a discount, but give us a good deal, and it'll be nice for him to get his ring too. Um, Lone Fox 115 says draft's going crazy after even a crazier season. Yeah, man, it's true. Pac-Man says still find Gilmore. He has another guy. It's going to cost some money. Veteran guy. Put Jalen Ramsey. Um, keep an eye on Jalen Ramsey. I wonder if he's going to have some kind of surgery or something, because in that Super Bowl, I was really surprised, and maybe it wasn't an injury where he needs surgery, but he might have been banged up, because no excuses. You got to play. You know that we all know that Jalen Ramsey is a heck of a player, right? If you remember the championship game, everyone talks about how Tart missed the interception right to him in the middle of the field on the 49ers side. But if you remember, Jalen Ramsey had one of the sidelines that was right here. He jumped up, and he was already thinking about where am I going to go after I catch it? I want to get it at pick six. The Niners were on their side of the field in the red zone. Garoppolo rolls out and throws the ball, and he does one of those bad throws on the run, and Ramsey cut it off and had it here, and it bounced off his shoulder and or his hands and went off, and he was like, he was pissed. He hit the helmet, and down when they went to the sideline. So that's when he missed it earlier in the game. He had one down here. He missed it. So in the Super Bowl, he was falling down a couple times, and you can't. These are top flight athletes. Nobody can cover. Deion Sanders is the closest guy that I've seen that can cover almost anyone, but they get you going. They're paid to play too, but I think he was banged up because he was falling down, and the guy wasn't really doing much, just a quick hit, and he was off balance. And I've seen Jalen Ramsey play against guys like D Hop and Metcalf with the Seahawks, and on. CC Lamb, Gallup, on and on. He doesn't play like that. So keep an eye on him if he has some kind of surgery, or maybe we won't even know this. He's not going to make excuses that he had some kind of lower leg injury or something, back injury, because he was very, he was not very steady on his feet. He kept slipping down and falling down, and that's our home turf. We don't have bad turf, so I would love to know if he was if there was something going on, but he won't admit that. He's too proud, but I would have that's not like him. Not that he's never going to get beat by somebody, even against the Bucks. You remember that long bomb that Tom Brady threw, but that happens to everybody. But if he was to have surgery or something that had to do, like maybe to clean up his knee or something, or maybe we won't even know, maybe he had a sprain or something, who knows. But I was just very surprised at the way he played. But yeah, I'd love to see Stephon Gilmore. But yeah, just keep an eye on Les Snead. Les Snead is going to do something. We already know that. And, we don't need a lot because we have most of our guys coming back. So, it's going to be great, but let's just enjoy this right now. I'm going to be doing more streams here and there as we shore out our roster. And, if somebody else gets some crazy deal, but thank Von Miller for what he did with the Rams. God bless him. No ill will towards that guy. I love him. He's an amazing player, and so thankful that we were able to get him. And props to him, and helping us get that chip in Los Angeles. God bless Von Miller. Right there. But yeah. Pac-Man says, how's our O-line going to look after Whitworth? Big Wit, God bless him, man. Big Wit retiring. We shored that up pretty good. We got Brian Allen back. We got Note Boom. He just has to stay healthy. But if you remember, he filled in for Big Wit when Big Wit was out. He's gonna watch. He's gonna watch uh, Stafford's backside on the left tackle, and then the other guy we re-signed. I always forget his name. We signed our other O lineman. Hold on. I always forget his name, but he's a big load too, and he's a good offensive lineman. So we're pretty decent depth on the O line. Um, Hold on, I'll tell you his name right now. But yeah, so we have uh, our left tackle coming back. Note Boom uh, is going to replace him. Brian Allen's back. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. I just had him right now too. How funny. You just had him on the edge of my on my lips. I just said it right now. Hold on. Sony Michelle's probably not going to come back either. By the way, I'd be surprised if we got him back. Yeah, so Brian Allen, Note Boom. Um, let's see. There he is, my boy, offensive lineman Coleman Shelton. Coleman Shelton. He's back. So yeah, so we have returning Brian Allen. Uh, Joe Note Boom is going to be the left tackle, and offensive lineman Coleman Shelton is back. Matt Gay's back. Trevin Howard is back. We give them tenders. Yeah. But yeah, so the offensive line looks pretty good. Most likely to get some more depth. But we're doing good. We're doing good when it comes to the old line. We can't keep everybody, but we'll be fine on that front. I would like for us to get more beef, like I said. Um, I would love for us to be able to run against top flight teams with the defensive line. Uh, like the Titans and the Bengals type of defensive lines. That's the guys that can move defensive linemen. Our offensive line's pretty decent all around pass blocking and run blocking, but we need to get more beef in the middle. But our main weapons are there, and we're basically still Super Bowl contenders even without Von Miller. What's up, HG? What's going on, Ram fans? What the hell, Bills? Yeah, man, they paid the money, but you got to tip your hat to them. They're all in. So they're trying to get Josh Allen, one of my favorite quarterbacks. It's not a Ram chip, and it is what it is. But I props to Von Miller. I thank God that he came with us this year. Lone Fox 115 says I became a Rams fan because of Von Miller, but I am now here to stay. Oh, good, man. Thank you. Welcome aboard, brother. Von Miller, I love the guy. I didn't know about him too much. I knew he was a great player, but I didn't know the character that he was. I really like the dude. In the interviews, he just seems like a fun guy, and he was a breath of fresh air. And but yeah, welcome aboard, man. The Rams culture that we have with McVay and Les Snead as our GM, Kevin Demoff, head of the football operations It's amazing, I'm not just being a homer. I say that because it's been a breath of fresh air. These guys came in, and because when we were in the Jeff Fisher era, props to him building our defense, but boy, it was a different culture. Um, HG says Von Miller is good, but damn, what a way to screw up free agency. I know, man. Like I said, I don't blame him. If it was me and I wanted to go back somewhere and I had to weigh it, it would be tough for me to leave. But in the money, you have to secure that bag. You got to secure that bag, that money bag, because you have to be able to have money after football. And they're going to give you $17 million a year. And of course, all that money is not guaranteed. They don't expect them to pay 6 years, but it comes out to about $17 million a year. You have to secure that bag. And unfortunately, the Rams couldn't bring him back, but that's okay. I don't have any ill will against him. Um, but yeah, but God bless him. I love Von Miller. He'll get his ring, and I thank him for helping us win that Super Bowl. HG says, "Are the Rams going to get a compensatory pick for Von Miller?" Yeah, I think we are, because we traded for him. So I believe we are. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I think when you trade for a guy and he leaves through free agency, you get like a third rounder or something like that. We'll see what happens. HG says 45 million guaranteed. 45 million is so guaranteed. Um, I haven't seen the ins and outs exactly, but I was hearing you see the 160, 120 million, but they were breaking it down, and I was just hearing on ESPN, one of the guys saying it comes out to about $17 million a year. And they have incentives and stuff like that, so they break it down. But basically, there was poison pills in there for the Rams not to be able to sign him. And so, other teams are taking the Rams lead now. They're all in, and God bless them. And that's how we won. We got players that we needed. She says, "Don't blame Miller either. It's just I'm on the behalf of yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's no one to blame. The Rams have other players. We have to restructure Stafford. We have to extend Stafford and restructure it. Restructure Donald and extend him. Uh, we had to sign our offensive lineman. Um, Sign OBJ, but he's hurt, so that's going to be easier, only because he's not going to be available until the end of the year, about November or so. Yeah, but most of our key players are signed through to 2024. The Cooper Cups and the Woods and all that stuff. So, Matthew Stafford and Donald were the main other two guys besides our offensive line. So, but yeah, it just sucks that when you get up there to the top of the mountain, you get the Super Bowl ring, and you start losing guys and losing guys. You have to adjust. But that's just the way it is. But at least we were able to get the Super Bowl and at least get that one out of the way. He says they're all in stupid money. I think the Bills were stupid unless the Cowboys were offering. Yeah, the Cowboys. Thank you for saying that. I was saying that earlier in my other stream. So the Cowboys, who was the players that the Cowboys lost? HG, if you know, the Cowboys had a deal on the table for one of their free agents, defensive lineman. And they had him sold, but they tried to put Gregory. Okay, they had him signed, and at the last minute they pulled out because I guess the Cowboys were trying to do some kind of terms that they didn't like. They were like, "Wait a minute," and so they said, "Well, forget you guys. Then we'll sign with Denver." And so that's why the Cowboys blew that up. And then I guess the Bills had a chance to pop in, and they put poison pills in there as far as money. And but Von Miller's worth it though. He's a heck of a talent. If you can get him, if you have the money, but we don't, because we have more players than the Bills do. We have an Aaron Donald and the Bills don't. Um, but yeah, so Tony Korn, what's up, brother? Any good pass rushers in the draft for me? You would like to see us pick up if they fall to us. You know what, Tony, I haven't looked at that yet with the draft, because we don't draft until the third round. But I'll get back to you on that one as we get closer. I know it's coming up, but uh, I think that what we need with this time frame, with our veteran players like the Matthew Staffords and the Donalds, Ramsey's young still, but our core guys are together for 2024. I think we're going to probably try and get like a Fowler or a Bobby Wagner, and then we'll look towards the draft. But I'm sure that I've heard that it's a pretty deep draft for certain positions, all the way around. So I'll get back to that. But yeah, we're about the third round. I think we started the late third round pick, and we'll see what happens. HE says clawback for signing bonus for so the signing bonus was the problem with the Cowboys. Okay, and offensive offensive tackle is deep in the draft. Yeah, thank you, H. That's what I heard too, and that's why I hope we get some beef. But we don't pick until the third or fourth. Third, I got to look at our picks, but I know we have a fifth rounder, we have a third rounder. We're probably gonna get another pick for Vaughn. We have I think total eight picks in this draft. Hopefully there's some guys still around, but we'll be able to get some offensive tackles to help with our depth. And but yeah, Tony, I'll look that up and I'll get back with you on that one. I'll keep that one in mind as we get closer to that part. But I'm sure there's something. Les Snead is a master at bringing up at getting guys in the late rounds. Guys with high motors and things like that. Because that's normally when we draft is a later round, so we have to kind of do our homework more so than other teams. That's where normally we hit. HG says need some good guards. Yeah, man. We need some beef. I want us to be able to do the old Hogs play where they have the kind of like the Niners do with Trent Williams. They have the guy pulling around the side. I can picture the old school Rams with Dennis Hara and Duval Love pulling around the side, and Eric Dickerson running behind him, or fullback Cullen Bryant or Jerome Bettis. I want us to be able to smash teams, but you can't have everything. If I had to pick, I would rather be a high fly act with a passing game than a running team, but you have to have a little both. Yeah, Austin Corbett. Yeah, me too, man. I'm gonna miss him too. But yeah, we just have to retool too, next man up, so to speak. And we tried though in the past, we drafted some high picks in the offensive tackle categories that they're off of my mind right now. But what Gerald Robinson is that one of the guys that we missed with, we woofed, and guys in the high draft picks that we tried to acquire, and hopefully they turned out, they didn't, and so that was one thing too. So the guys that we have, I'm glad that we were able to have these guys, but yeah. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's always tough when there's guys that you don't want to leave. Look at my Dodgers. My Dodgers were skinned alive last year. We have all these guys like Kiki Hernandez's and all that. Even this year, jeez, we're going to get more guys, but I hate that we lost a lot of guys that made the differences in key situations. HG says, agree. Just was really floored by the Von Miller thing. Yeah. Always thought it would be hard to re-sign, but just geez. Yeah, I really thought it would be hard to get him back. But I thought that after seeing the tea leaves, so to speak, and having him say in the tweet that he's looking at his free agent options, but he's giving the Rams basically the chance to re-sign him. I was surprised that we didn't get him back, but then I saw how much they gave him, and I was like, wow, okay. The Rams are like, oh man, well, Vaughn, we wish you well. Excuse me. We wish you well, brother. uh, but yeah, we couldn't give him that. But yeah, I would love if we had Von Miller, I'd be so ecstatic right now with this pass rush, and we still have a heck of a pass rush right now. We just got to get somebody else. But I really liked him as a guy in the locker room too. One of the guys that players look up to. And but yeah, and plus the way he plays, but he's a character. I love that guy. I'll always be a fan of Von Miller. I didn't really know much about him before. I knew he was a great player, but I didn't know the character he was and the fun guy he was, just in interviews and sticking his tongue out and stuff and just being silly, but also when it's time for business, he was there and he's a monster when it comes to the pass rush, man. Sticking his tongue out like that. But I love that guy. HG says, daughters, I'm tired of reading Twitter for updates. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's like the Lakers, man. My Lakers, I've been very spoiled being a Lakers fan. I grew up in Southern California, so Lakers fan, and we're kind of paying for it now. Being very spoiled, and so you know, unfortunately, my Lakers always optimistic, but I don't see them doing anything this year. Thank God that my Rams won it this year. And HG says, I thought it would have been 1 year contract, low 20s max. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping, but then I saw that people were saying, "Oh, this is one of his first years, and he's going to be on the open market, and he wants to test his." Like, oh, dang it, we might not get him then. HG says, "Lakers, I gave up for the season." I haven't given up. Anytime you have LeBron and maybe AD will snap to it, and Carmelo Anthony just keeps putting that ball up and making hoops, brother. Um, Malik, and they have some decent pieces there, but just my boy Westbrook, he just doesn't fit, and it'd be a miracle if they went deep into the playoffs. It'd be almost a miracle to say now that they're losing to the Timberwolves as we speak right now. 24-20, 104 20, 104 to 124 against the Timberwolves. I just got a message on my phone. I don't even know why I still get those messages right now. It's hard for me to watch. I get mad because I see the Lakers getting, not that you play dirty, but I don't see nobody hitting the floor. I see the Lakers getting blown out and nobody's being physical. And, you don't do that in our house. But yeah, I'm old school. I'm an old dude. You know, Lakers Showtime was my era, and then Kobe and Shaq. But the Lakers and Celtics wars and Pistons wars were my cup of tea. Oh, they lost already. Oh, okay, that's what the mess. I couldn't read it. Oh, I see. So that's the final recap. Okay, yeah, it says recap. Thank you. Yeah, so the Lakers scored 17 points in the first quarter. And that was their downfall because they ended up losing by 20, but they scored 17 and Minnesota scored 31 to start it off. And what do you guys think about this Baker Mayfield to the Lions? Poor golf. The HG says they trade away all the things that made them good. Yeah, man. We should have got Buddy Hield and went a different direction instead of Westbrook. It was nice to see him home, but he didn't fit. Everybody was saying that. LeBron wanted him, I guess. I don't know. He's not enough talent and too sluggish. Yeah, this league is just people are shooting 3-pointers and up and down. There's just a lot of good teams in the West too. Earlier before we got Westbrook, they were talking about maybe trying to make a deal for him and as one of the pieces to get him, and we ended up going a different direction and getting Westbrook. And I didn't really know too much about him. I know he was a really good shooter and player, but yeah. But like we're spoiled. Like this year's basically been a dumpster fire for the Lakers, my Lakers. But we won the championship not too long ago, and we have 17 championships. We've been very spoiled as Laker fans. So it is what it is. The Lakers, God bless Jerry Bust. Unfortunately, he's passed and he's not at the helm anymore. But most likely, the Lakers will be back on top soon, within the next 3 or 4 years, probably. Hopefully, that soon. LeBron will probably be gone, but in LA, you have to win. And if the Lakers don't do any better, then the Rams will have to step up with the Dodgers and then my USC Trojans too have a coach now, so we'll see what happens. Um, Oh, Mayfield. Oh, you're talking about. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, I missed that. What you were saying too. Okay, so I was just looking at my messages, and there's just people sitting around talking about Baker Mayfield to the Lions. It says Seahawks may make a play for former number one QB. Blah blah blah. What else is it? Where does it say Baker? On the Pat McAfee show, Ian Rappaport mentioned the Seahawks as a team that could make a play for Baker. He said on March 15th episode. And then where's the one that it says him to the Lions? I don't see it. So maybe they were just tossing around teams. It was just a headline that came over my phone. All right. But yeah, so and that's basically it. Props to Von Miller. Thank you, Von, for everything. I appreciate it. Um, would have loved to have had you back. Um, maybe you have a horrible season. I don't wish this on you, but maybe we'll pick you up next year, and if they cut you. I don't know, but it is what it is. We just have to go to Plan B. Bobby Wagner, uh, maybe a Ram soon, or Dante Fowler might be returning. And I got to take this thing off. I got this for one of the Niner channels just to poke a little fun at them. My cooler little thing. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Bobby Wagner, or I can see Dante Fowler coming back, but most of our guys are set. We just have to shore up a couple of pieces here and there. That's the one thing that's great about this team is most of our guys are set. Our offense. We shored up our offensive line. We got to still get some more pieces, but we're deep on the secondary. Our main guys are set. We just have to get some more pieces. Von Miller's a big setback, but it is what it is. We just have to use the money somewhere else and get productions from somewhere else. And maybe Wagner and Dante Fowler, or both of them, will be the answer to help do that. But our offense will take off even better in year 2 with McVay. So I'm looking forward to that. HE says as soon as Magic took over, he screwed up the Lakers by doing it too many. Yeah, I love Magic's my favorite player of all time, along with Kobe. And I didn't like how we gave away the forward to the Knicks. He ended up signing with the Knicks. My brain is scatterbrains, but anyway, we didn't get nothing for him, and then he ended up being an all-star. And then the Larry Nance Juniors and guys like that we could have packaged to get a good player, and we ended up getting drafting that guard. What's his name? Son that was a big mouth, and he would come on all the talk shows. And but we ended up winning the Super Bowl, the World Championship after Magic left, and they got it together. LeBron came back, and but yeah, so but yeah, and the HE says the Lakers need to build a team, but trade away and desperation. Yeah, we probably have to retool that team, man. Yeah, he says HE says I bet Fowler is cheaper and more gettable. Yeah, I think so too. But I think that Les Snead might want to make a splash with Wagner if he's willing to come back at the right price. Come with the Rams at the right price to show up our linebacker and get Fowler, because the golf money and the girly money comes off the books this year, and with the cap extending, and we're going to restructure, guys. We'll see what happens. But Les Snead is always willing to, pull a rabbit out of his hat, so to speak. But we'll see what happens, man. I appreciate you guys for coming in. I just wanted to come back in here and talk about Vaughn a little bit and some of the free agent moves. But thank you, HG, for coming in, man. Hit the like and subscribe button, brother, so you can come in some more often. I appreciate the talk with you. Tony Corn, thank you, brother, for coming in. Lone Fox 115, thank you for coming in, brother. Pac-Man, thank you for coming in. Roberto Hastings, thank you. Welcome again for coming in, man. I appreciate it. My brother Payo Time, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get off now, and I'll be back again if anything else happens. But hit the like and subscribe buttons and the alerts so that way you can get my streams, and I appreciate all you guys for coming in, and all the great talk, and just time that we spend together, and as we get ready for the off season and the draft, and see what's going on. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And as we always say, may the Remelia be with you, and Ramulators, mount up. Babe.